Yo guys, welcome back. It's CJ here. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about player lock. Now this is the continuation of my attacking video. In my previous video I talked about passing, trigger drones and set pieces. Now this one is just about player lock. Now the first thing you need to know about player lock, if you want to activate the player lock, this is simply all that you do. This is your left stick, this is your left stick, this is your right stick here. You just press both of them inside like this. So you press inside like this, same thing with this, and then you do it at the same time. Now once you do that, a red diamond appears on top of your player's head. Now when that red diamond appears, you use your right stick to switch to the player that you now want to control. So you can see in this clip here, when my child turns with the ball, I player lock, press both of them inside like this, right? And then he player locks. Now immediately he does that, I switch. If you look at my controller, I switch, right, flick my right stick towards my Kaka, who is the player I want to control, right? And then from here I just bait a run, right, move forward and then stop, bring him here. Now from here, easy trigger drones, first time throughs. Now first time throughs is something I talked about in my previous video, so if you want to learn how you can score goals like that, I suggest you watch that video. Now there are different situations where player lock can be very effective, but the one that I really love using it so much is for cutbacks. So here I have the ball and then play it to the center, here to the wing, and then enter the space. Now once I enter the space here, I already know what I'm going to do. I just enter the space. From here, player lock. Now you can see I've activated the player lock. Once I activate the player lock, I flick my right stick into the player. Now right stick, I also talk about right stick switching on my defending video. Now the same switching, the same way you switch right stick for defending is also the same way you switch for attacking. So player lock, and then I flick my right stick down into the person in the box. Now once I do that, I am now controlling that player, right? And then the other player is being controlled by AI or computer, right? So I flick and I'm now controlling that player in the box, and then all I do is simply just move that player into a position where he can receive the ball without any defenders obstructing him, like this. And then it's an easy goal. If you just watch again at the ending, I have this chance. Now this match is 89 minutes, right? And I have this chance. I'm on the wing, and then my opponent is defending really well. So I'm just cutting back, doing this, doing that, right? And then I have the ball on the wing. Now here again, I play a lock, right? What I do after I play a lock is press, and then I flick my right stick to Kaka, right? And then I simply just move him forward, right? Moving forward, and from here, pass. Now you can see just how effective player lock is, right? If I did not player lock down my player right there, he probably would have just been standing, and then I wouldn't be able to pass to him because a defender was in his way, right? So player lock allows you to move your players in the perfect way that you want to move them, right? You can move your players to avoid defenders, you can move them into spaces, you can use the player locks to call them short, you can use it for trigger drones. There are so many ways you can use player lock, but the most important thing you should know is right stick switching. Right stick switching is going to be very important, which is why I made this player lock a second part of my video, because it's getting more advanced, right? My first part was just trigger drones, passing, set pieces, very basic stuff, right? Right stick switching, like I said before in this video, I've talked about it on my defending video. So if you want to learn right stick switching, just go and watch that video. It is on my channel. Now another thing about player locks is, right, once you learn the basics, it is now up to you to get creative with it. Like I always say this. Now if you watch this clip here, my opponent clears the ball, and you can see what I do here. Now this is not even attacking, right? This is in my own defense. What I do is, while the ball is in the air, I know my center back has aerial, so he's always going to win the ball. So what I do is just activate the player lock, switch to my midfielder and just move him into space, moving into wherever I want him to be, right? And then now, like I said, that player, right, that you've player locked to, you're the one controlling that player, but the one that the cursor is not on, right, the one that you left the cursor from is being controlled by AI. But whatever input you press, that player is going to perform it. For example, here, all I need to simply do is just press X. Now my player is going to pass the ball. Even though the cursor is not on him, he's going to pass the ball to the person that I have player locked to. This is why player lock is so important. And then you can see what I do here. Head the ball down, and from here, just simple passes. And then, so you can see just how effective it was there, right? Maybe I could have scored the goal without doing that player lock, but it feels like I have more control over my players just by me being able to do that. Another example here now, I have the ball on the wing. I just activate a player lock, switch, move him here, and then pass it down, activate the player lock again, switch my right stick. You can even see my cursor, right? My controller rather, on the screen. I'm already player locking, switch my right stick, and then I bring him outwards, right, into a space where he can receive the ball without any obstruction, without any defender, right? And then when I do that, I just take a finesse, and it's that easy. Now, another thing about player lock is that you actually don't even need to pass to the player that you've player locked to. There's player lock cancels. I'm going to show you an example here. You really don't need to. Just because you player lock doesn't mean you now have to pass to that player. You can player lock, and then to cancel the player lock is simply just same thing you press to activate it. So you activate it and then you press it again to cancel it. Now I'm going to show you an example here. So here I have the ball here, and then I play to the wing. From here I pass it back again, and then here I player lock, right? But when I player lock now, there's not much I can do. I can't just wishful play the pass, right, hoping that it just goes into him, right? When I player lock, I cancel the player lock again, right? And then now the cursor is back to him, and then just like this, few passes, I have a goal. So you don't always need to pass the player that you've player locked to. You can also cancel your player locks just by the same button you use to activate it. Another example here of my favorite use of player lock, cutbacks. So here I win the ball, and then just quick passes, first time passes. Now passing, it is also a very important aspect of attacking, which is why I've also talked about it in the part 1 of this video. So here I have space, right? So I enter the space, and then when I enter the space, again, I know what I want to do. Now I can either play a lock to my Benzema here and then just be moving around with him in the box, right? Because again, your opponents are now going to be anticipating what you want to do after you play a lock. So 3 different things you can do here. You can play a lock, and then you can play a lock cancel again, or you can play a lock to your Benzema, or you can play a lock to this player, which is what I do here. Watch, play a lock, easy. So in that situation, I have 3 options. I have 3 things I can literally do there. But here I can play a lock to my Benzema, which is what I did at first, right? And then when I did that, I switched again, because again, it's still your preference, right? Switch again, and then I brought her upwards into the box for an easy goal. So, thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you've learned something about player lock and you are really going to start using it, because I definitely know it's going to significantly improve your gameplay. It's going to make you play like a top player. So you should really learn player lock and then add it to your gameplay, add it to your skill set, right? Like I said, right stick switching is going to be important for player lock. So if you want to learn right stick switching, I have a video on it. It's on my defending video, which is on my channel. And then also there's going to be 2 more videos coming out or on attacking, right? And those are decision making and skill moves you need to know. Don't forget to subscribe. On the road to 1K subs. Once again, thanks for watching it. Peace.